In the quiet town of Oak Haven, every birth was a miracle, but not just for the new life it brought. Here, every baby arrived clutching a small, faded piece of paper in their tiny fist, a handwritten memory from someone long dead. These memories were the town's inheritance, whispers from the past that shaped their present. The townsfolk would gather, their faces a mixture of reverence and curiosity, as the newborn's hand was gently unfurled. Most memories were simple, beautiful fragments: the taste of a first love's kiss, the warmth of a sun-drenched afternoon, the pride of a well-tended garden. These were read aloud, shared, and then carefully archived in the town hall, a library of souls. But Alara's birth was different. She delivered twins, a rarity in Oak Haven. The town gathered, holding their breath as the midwife approached the firstborn, a boy they named Kale. His note was unfurled to reveal a memory of pure bliss, written in elegant script. "I saw the gates of paradise, and they were woven from pure light." A collective sigh of relief and wonder filled the room. The town celebrated. Such a blessed memory was a good omen. Then, all eyes turned to the second twin, a girl Alara named Lyra. As the midwife gently pried open her tiny fingers, a chill swept through the room. The paper was crumpled, the handwriting jagged and frantic, stained with what looked like dried mud. The midwife's face went pale as she read it silently. She stumbled back, refusing to speak, her eyes wide with terror. Alara snatched the note from her trembling hand. Her blood ran cold as she read the words, a memory not of peace, but of a final, horrifying moment. "He pushed me," it read. "The mayor. The cellar floor was so cold. He told me no one would ever find us. He was wrong." Alara's heart hammered against her ribs. The mayor? Mayor Thornton? The man who was the bedrock of their community, beloved by all, who officiated every memory ceremony with a kind smile and a steady hand. It couldn't be true. It had to be a mistake, a sick joke from a troubled soul. She quickly hid the note, her mind reeling. She told the waiting crowd the memory was smudged and unreadable, a rare but not unheard of occurrence. Though whispers of disappointment rippled through the onlookers, they eventually dispersed, leaving Alara alone with her joy, her fear, and her terrible secret. Days turned into weeks. Alara tried to forget the note, to convince herself it was meaningless. But Mayor Thornton began to visit. At first, his visits seemed innocent, filled with fatherly concern for the new mother and her twins. He brought expensive gifts, offered to fund the children's education, and spoke of how special they were. But his eyes, once so warm, now held a glint of something cold and calculating. He paid special attention to Lyra, the silent twin. "A mother of two must be so overwhelmed," he'd say, his voice smooth as silk. "Perhaps I could help. I could adopt one, provide a life of comfort and security. Think of it, Alara. The girl, perhaps. Let me take her off your hands." Each offer was more insistent than the last. His visits became more frequent, his smile more strained. Alara's fear curdled into certainty. The memory was real. The man who ruled their town with a gentle fist was a monster hiding in plain sight. She started having nightmares of a dark, damp cellar and the feeling of cold stone against her skin. She would wake up clutching her children, her body trembling. She knew he wouldn't stop. He wanted the memory, and he would do anything to get it. He wanted to silence the ghost that Lyra had brought into the world. The mayor's offers soon turned into veiled threats. He spoke of the town's welfare, how one person's unfortunate delusions could disrupt the peace. He reminded her how much power he held, how easily a single mother could find herself an outcast. Alara knew she was trapped. Going to the town guard was useless. They were all loyal to the mayor. No one would believe a frantic mother's story over the word of their beloved leader. The note was her only proof, a fragile piece of paper against a mountain of influence. Driven by a desperate, protective instinct, Alara began her own quiet investigation. She feigned an interest in Oak Haven's history, spending hours in the town archives under the guise of researching a family tree. She learned that the town hall had been built over the original settlement's first structure, a simple stone building. An old town plan, buried deep in a dusty ledger, showed a cellar that wasn't on any modern blueprints. A cellar located directly beneath the mayor's office. One night, fueled by adrenaline and terror, she snuck into the town hall. The building was silent, the archived memories lining the walls like sleeping sentinels. She found the mayor's office and, after a frantic search, discovered a hidden latch beneath a heavy rug. It opened to reveal a set of stone steps leading down into darkness, a wave of cold, musty air washing over her. She descended, her small lantern casting dancing shadows on the damp walls. And there, in the forgotten cellar, she found them. Pushed into a collapsed section of the wall, behind loose stones, were the skeletal remains of two people. The secret was real, and it was buried right under their feet. The next day was the annual Founders' Day ceremony, the biggest event of the year, where the entire town gathered in the main square. Mayor Thornton stood on the podium, delivering a speech about Oakhaven's legacy of peace and transparency. He spoke of the sacred trust they all shared, his voice resonating with false sincerity. This was her chance, her only chance. Clutching her children, Alara pushed her way through the crowd. She walked straight to the podium, her face set with a grim resolve that silenced the murmurs around her. The mayor's smile faltered, his eyes widening in panic as he saw her approaching. Ignoring the guards who moved to intercept her, she climbed onto the stage, took the microphone, and held up the crumpled piece of paper. Her voice, amplified for all to hear, was clear and steady. "Every memory is a piece of our history," she began, her gaze locked on the mayor. "Most are beautiful, but some are warnings. This one belongs to my daughter, Lyra." She took a deep breath, the entire town watching, silent and captivated. Then, she read the chilling words aloud. "He pushed me. The mayor. The cellar floor was so cold. He told me no one would ever find us. He was wrong." A gasp rippled through the crowd. But then, something strange and terrifying happened. As the final word echoed across the square, the mayor didn't just look guilty. He clutched his head, a scream tearing from his throat. And he wasn't alone. One by one, every adult in the crowd gasped, their hands flying to their temples. Their eyes glazed over, unfocused, as if they were looking at something far away or deep within. A shared recollection, a collective memory, flickering to life behind 1,000 pairs of eyes. What was this shared memory, and what would the town of Oakhaven do now that its darkest secret was exposed? Find out in the next episode. If you were on the edge of your seat, don't forget to hit that like button, share this with a friend who loves a good mystery, and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. Thanks for watching.